So let's say that you're out and about with your family. You're enjoying a beautiful evening, and then all of a sudden it happens. The precedent is set, and you need to use justified lethal self-defense in defense of yourself and your loved ones. What do? Do you just pull out your gun and start blasting? Do you wait for an opportune time? Here are 5 considerations that you must be taking into account anytime you're about to use justified lethal self-defense. Hey everyone, this is Joe Malone from JM Training. I'm a former MARSOC Marine, and my mission in life is to help you keep yourself and loved ones safe against violence and violent crime. Today we're going to be talking about 5 considerations when using justified lethal self-defense. Now the first consideration is the precedent. Is it truly set? Every state is going to vary, so I always highly recommend that you check your state and local laws to ensure that 1, you're able to carry a weapon legally, but 2, what is that precedent in order to use justified lethal self-defense? Now in states like Illinois, which is one of the most strict gun law states in the nation, I could tell you that the justified use of lethal self-defense or lethal force in defense of yourself or others means that you reasonably believe that you are intervening or preventing a forcible felony from occurring. Now, this is outside of the home. If it's inside of your home, then you are reasonably intervening or preventing the commission of a felony. Now, I'm not going to dive into the differences between the two. I'm not a lawyer. However, if you do want some sort of legal consult, I always recommend you become a member of the USCCA. I'm a member. I'm not a spokesperson for them, but I highly recommend that you become a member so you could have that type of legal consult in these drastic and desperate situations. However, I digress. In Illinois, a forcible felony is something like murder, rape, kidnapping, arson, aggravated battery, anything that is likely to cause grievous bodily injury, which means like hospitalization or a lifelong change in your physicality, or death. So if that precedent has been set, hey, I'm about to get jumped by 10 guys, 3 guys, they're pummeling the crap out of me, somebody pulls a gun on me, a knife on me, then that precedent has been set so you could use justified lethal self-defense in defense of yourself or others. Now, the second consideration that I want you to be running through your head in these moments is, what is the imminence of that threat? And this is what I mean by that. Is it possible that within the next couple of moments, so seconds, that this person could literally cause that grievous bodily injury or that death? Is the knife out, and are they actively threatening you? Opposite or a more gray style example, this would be somebody says, I'm going to go home and get my gun and kill you, or I'm going to go to my car and I'm going to get my gun and I'm going to kill you. And then you're watching them walk to their car. Might not be in your best interest to pull out your firearm and use justified lethal self-defense. However, if they open that car door and they go inside reaching for something, it's not really up to you to determine whether or not they truly have a gun. That could be one of these moments where, yeah, at that point in time, there is an imminence of that threat. You need to act now, and you can't necessarily just go running away. And you shouldn't have to anyways, especially if you're not the provocateur. But that's in a different video when we talk about things that you can't do leading up to a deadly engagement. The third thing I want you to consider is, what is your ability to draw your firearm and to get a shot off without that person seeing you draw your firearm? Now, I always recommend a sub 2-second draw and accurate shot on target from the concealed carry position. That means under 2 seconds, you're clearing any obstructions being your clothing, you're drawing your firearm, and then you are at least getting one single shot off accurately with impact on that adversary. However, if you have a gun currently pointed in your face, or if there are multiple weapons on you, then you want to take that into consideration, because you don't ever want to really draw on a drawn gun. You don't want to ever draw from a disadvantageous position. Now, there are ways to work around this, and I'll talk about them in other videos and how to intervene when it comes to violent criminals. But you really want to make sure that you can draw your firearm under 2 seconds, either with that person being distracted, their focus elsewhere, or with their weapon system not pointed directly at you or your loved one's face. The fourth consideration that I want you to consider is actually one of your weapon safety rules. It's know your target and consider its foreground and background. So when we deal with concealed carry engagements, a lot of them start off less than 5 feet apart. The vast majority of them, actually, I think it's over upwards of 95%, start off less than 5 feet apart. And that makes sense because you're getting robbed, you're getting mugged, somebody's trying to rape you. So we must take into consideration the fact that regardless of the caliber of the weapon you have, now yes, some calibers will penetrate through more than others. But regardless, when you're that close, it's really like a hot knife going through butter. So you have to make sure that your fields of fire are clear of any innocent person. Meaning that if I'm going to engage you as the camera right now, I want to make sure that there's nobody behind you or coming into that field of view, moving, because life is dynamic, especially out in public. So don't get caught shooting an adversary and then accidentally hitting an innocent person, because you'll definitely suffer the consequences of that morally and also legally. Fifth, the last consideration that I want you to at least have running through your head prior to engaging this person with justified lethal self-defense is, what is your movement plan? So we've established that there is the precedent of using legal justified self-defense in defense of ourselves and others. There is an imminence to the threat. We absolutely must use it now, otherwise we will be grievously injured or we will be killed. We've established that there is an opportune time for us to draw this weapon system. They're either distracted or the gun is pointed in a different direction. And we know that there is nobody behind that adversary. So now we're going to actually begin to do it. Well, lastly, we need to still move somewhere after we engage. The last thing we want to do is just shoot somebody and then stand still and then wait. So think to yourself, are you going to go left? Are you going to go right? Are you going to go, this degree, that degree? Regardless of what it is, you must have some sort of movement plan in place prior to executing the maneuver of justified lethal self-defense. All right, guys, there you have it. There are a lot of other things that we can go into depth about, but that is 5 considerations that I want you to consider anytime you're getting ready to use justified lethal self-defense. Like it, leave some comments, let me know your thoughts, tell me about your experiences if you've ever had to use justified lethal self-defense. Share so we could spread some good word and help keep one another safe against violence and violent crime. Again, my mission in life is to provide you all with the knowledge, the experience, and the training that will help you keep yourself and your loved ones safe against violence and violent crime. Until next time, take care.